What's going on, guys? It's Maple and we're back with another Unity tutorial video. Today I'm going to be going over the dynamic penetration system and how to add it to your VRChat model. So first thing we're going to want to do is make sure that your project is open, and you're going to want to import the package to dynamic penetration system into your assets folder. And then inside your assets folder you'll find it down here, dynamic penetration system. And inside you'll find all these goodies that you could add to your model. So in order to speed up this process a bit, I already added all the orifices that I wanted except for one. So I'll just do that real quickly to show you the process, and then we'll set up the animations in the FX layer and then set up your controller. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is grab a orifice from the folder here. You could use a hole or a ring. The orifice hole makes a penetrator completely disappear within itself, and the orifice ring just constrains the penetrator. So that's good for like your boobs or your hand if you want to be able to like stroke something, because you don't want to put the hole on your hand because your dick doesn't disappear when you're getting a hand job. Yeah, okay. Anyways, let's go to orifice hole, and we're gonna rename this to pussy. And then once it's in your scene, then you could drag it up to where you want it. We'll turn off gizmos so you can actually see where we're placing it. Each one has a little cross on it to see exactly where the placement is. Like that. Just don't know what my body's doing for a second. Where am I? So yeah, just place the whole thing. Should be decent. Rotate it a bit, and then you can unpack it and then drop it down, and then it'll say delete me after placement, and just delete that. Alright, and now we are going to add that to the armature. So I already did that with all the other ones. So basically your pussy is on your hips, so we're going to add it to the hips. So I'll just drag it down and boom, now it's on your hips. I think this model has, yeah, you have to add it as an exclusion to the dynamic bones. Okay. So I already added the ass, pussy, boobs, hand, and mouth on all of your armatures. So hips has ass and pussy. Your head is where the mouth goes. I put my hand on my left wrist, and then boobs go on the chest. So make sure it's toggled off by default. And we're going to go ahead and record the animations. So I already recorded one where I just toggled off every single thing and then copied it. That way I could just toggle it again without having to re-record the animation. So the pussy, I'm just going to click pussy. That's enabled. Now you see when I hit preview, the lights are on. That means that it's enabled and working, since DPS uses a lighting system to work. So let's go back to our project, boobs. And we'll just make sure boobs is active. Yes, it is. Preview. Boom. There's the light right there. And you can see it's working. And then we can go to, what have we done? Ass is there. Boom, ass. Preview, working. Mouth. Make sure that's checked off on the mouth, like that. Preview. Working. And then last one should be hands. And hand is here, preview, and it's working on the hand. So for the hand placement, I tried to put it, you have to make sure it's facing downwards on your hand. So when you go downwards, the penetrator comes up, and I try to put it right in between the palm area. That seems to be a good spot. Okay. So our animations are done. So all I did was grab my animator tab. I made a parameter, make sure it's an integer parameter, so just name it lewd, because you can only have one enabled at a time, or else it breaks all the other orifices, so that's why an integer is good, because a bool would let you toggle them on and off separately, which you don't want. So we'll just use an integer system, and then we're going to set up the layer. So I dragged all of the animations here into the layer for the lewd toggle. And then basically you'll have them laid out like this. I actually forgot to do something too. We need to make sure that we have one that says all off. So I'll just duplicate this one. All off. And then all off here. And then make sure that's 0. So each one's 0 because that's going to be our default state. We don't want any on by default. So just create a state empty. Make this our default. All off animation. There we go. Okay. So now our default is all off, and now we're going to have an any state system that sets up the transitions. So let's just do it in a line like this. Let's make hand first, then mouth, then boobs, then pussy, then ass. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just making transitions from the any state to all of these, and then our entry is default to all off. Alright, this model uses right defaults, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, it does. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that crap. Alright, so let's just set up the transitions real quick. So I usually remove exit time and fixed duration so it's instantaneous switches. That's why sometimes, like, when you're using a 3.0 toggle and like the close kind of lag when you switch, or like you see part of the close like disappear and stuff instead of it being instantaneous, it's because they forget to remove exit time or transition time or whatever it is. So then you could just right click and then copy the transition parameters. Oh, let's first set up the condition. So you're gonna come down here to conditions, and we're gonna make it lewd equals 0 because it's the default and it's the first one. And now we can copy the transition parameters up here, right click on this any state all off thing. Copy transition parameters, boom, paste both, boom, paste both, boom, paste both, boom, paste both, boom, paste both. Just like that. And now all of them are here. We just need to change the equals. So this one's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're done in here. So make sure this is on 1 wait. And this whole thing is already set up. Now we could add it to our avatar's 3.0 menu using the parameters and main menu system. So come here, type in lewd, make sure it matches exactly what your parameters in your animator tab says. So I named it lewd. Here it's lewd, and it's an integer. Okay, now we can go back, click your avatar in your hierarchy, scroll down, find your main menu. We're gonna add a sub menu that has everything in it. So let's just click this. Actually, you know what we could do? Here's our main menu right here. So just duplicate this, or you can just delete and create a new VRChat avatar expressions menu, just like that. I'm gonna name it lewd. This is gonna be our sub menu. So we're gonna add our controls. Make this one, and it's gonna be a toggle. And if you guys remember, when we set it up here, you want these numbers to correspond to the numbers in the menu. So hand was first, then mouth, then boobs, then pussy, then ass. So we'll go back to our project, lewd. So this one's 1. And then our mouth is 2. So you select parameter, lewd, it's 2. Actually, were boobs 2? No, I'm questioning myself. No, boobs are 3. Okay. Now these are boobs. 3. This is 4. And ass is 5. Make sure you switch to toggle, 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 toggle. Alright, and that's all set up. You could do like custom icons if you want and stuff too, but we'll just leave it simple for now. So now we'll go back to our main menu and make sure that you set up a new control. We're going to call this lewd toggles, and we're going to make it a sub menu, and then just drag that lewd menu that you just made into it. And now when you go into here, you'll have your DPS toggles all set up. And that's about it. So if you want to test it too before you go in game, just make sure your FX layer is on, go into play mode. and then you can go into your animator tab, and now we'll go to our LUD menu. Make sure we're clicked on here, and you can see this light up as we switch between things. So, oh wait, do I have gizmos off? Yeah, I do. So now 1 is on, so that's hand. 2 is mouth. 3 is boobs. 4 is pussy. 5 is ass, and you're all set to go. Yeah, that's about it. If you want to add a dildo to your model, you can do that too. I guess we'll go through that real quick too, so stick around if you want to see that. So we'll use the penetrator with dynamic bones. Just drag it into your hierarchy like so. Take this thing off. And now you can position it in your hand. Oops, I just grabbed the wrong thing. Make it slightly smaller so it's not the same fucking size as my avatar. There we go. And then you can rotate it downwards. And then I usually just position it in the palm. Thank you, Delilah, for showing me that. Like that. Sometimes you have to click the avatar again. Just like that. Should be good. And then rename this to dildo. If you want, you can change the color of it too. Just go over here, click penetrator material, drop this down, make it like bright pink or something like that. And then just make sure it's positioned properly in your hand. And there you go. Now we'll make this a bool because it's not part of the same menu as the other one, because you want to be able to have it on at the same time. I also think that I broke this because the physics is supposed to be by the back. Yeah. So when you grab this, make sure you don't grab just the penetrator mesh. You want to grab the entire thing, or else it will break where the actual placement of it is. I also think that this should be rotated like that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that looks pretty good to me. Now we're going to add it to our right wrist. Where's wrist? There it is. Like that. And then we can unpack it and toggle it off. Now we can record a new animation for it. So while we're still in the FX layer on the controller, create a new clip, dildo, record it, and here's our dildo. Boom, toggle it on. Cool. Simple. Animation tab, new parameter. Let's make it a bool. Takes up less space. I just typed in bool in here instead of dildo. Okay. And then obviously we make a new layer for it as well. And then we'll just do this. And then we can just make a dildo off. Just like that. And dildo off would be 0. Go back to our animator tab. Create a new state. And then create another state. And then up here, this will be dildo off because we don't want to spawn in with the dildo. And then this one will be dildo. I'm being lazy, but you can name these two if you want, just for extra organization. Okay. And then the parameter will be dildo is true. Or I'm sorry, dildo is false. And then dildo is true when you want to turn it on. Like that. And make these transitions with no exit time because we want it to spawn in and disappear instantaneously. Here you go. Okay. Now that should be set up. We can go into the FX layer, double check one more time. Boom. Dildo's on. Easy peasy. And then same thing, we're just going to add it to our menu system and parameters. So I'll just name this dildo. Dildo. We used a bool this time, so we use less memory. These should all really be bools, but I forgot who made this model. Anyways, and now we can go back to our menu system in the projects menu, and we can go back to our lewd menu. We don't need a new menu for this. We'll just create a new one. Dildo, it's toggle, and it's our bool. And there you go. Now you're fully set up and ready to go with a full DPS system on your model. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Discord. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.